All right, we are back with a Fox News alert. Take a look at your screen. Brand new video just into our newsroom showing a Pima County forensics team in just the last hour searching an area off the side of the road near Nancy Guthrie's home. Several deputies were seen, at least one taking pictures, but it's not clear exactly what they are looking for. This new search comes as the backpack seen in these images is now becoming a key piece of evidence for law enforcement as they work to track down Nancy Guthrie and her kidnapper. But it's not just the contents of the backpack and how it could be linked to the person responsible. Some are also wondering why the person at one point in the images appears to be wearing the backpack, and in another shot, he's not. International private investigator J.J. Arms III joins me now to break this all down. And J.J., let's start with the very latest. Those images we just showed you of what appears to be a forensics team on scene. Why? What is so urgent, J.J., that you would have a forensics team? Some people taking pictures in the middle of the night, the dark of night. We know how dark it is out there. Instead of waiting until the sun comes up in a few hours, why would they be there now?
What I believe is happening is now that we have the video and we know the specific articles of clothing that the individual was wearing, that he was wearing gloves, things along those lines, a lot of times when a perpetrator is fleeing the scene, they may be geared up and gloved up and masked up when they're at the location. But once they flee the location, they may start to discard things out the window of the vehicle, such as rubber gloves. And those are the kind of things that law enforcement is probably looking for are on the side of the road. They may have found something, and what they have to do is when they locate a piece of evidence, they have to flag exactly where that piece of evidence is, and then they have to photograph it to show exactly where the evidence was found, how it was found, what it looked like, the position it was in when they found it, and so forth.
Okay, but why now? What was so urgent that they said, look, we need to stop what we're doing. We can't wait until the sun comes up. We just found something or have reason to believe there is something we need to look for in this area right now. Because I'm trying to put myself in your position. Would you have ever said, hey, go out there now, teams, get this information, get this data, get these photos now, can't wait?
Well, I mean, we actually won't know until after the fact, but if it is that urgent, obviously to the team that was on the ground that found that piece of evidence, they think it's significant enough to warrant activity right now. The other possibility could be something such as a glove that would have possible DNA. And whenever you have DNA is susceptible to the elements, the heat, to the cold, to dust. You don't want to, you may want to try and get fingerprints, and you don't want the latents to be corrupted by dust or dirt or mud. So that may be why they're trying to get that evidence preserved, picked up, and removed from the scene as quickly as possible.
I think that's a real key point. You don't want spoliation. That's the worst thing that could happen at this point to the evidence. Meantime, let's go back to that backpack. What's your explanation for that juxtaposition in the photos? In the one photo, he clearly has a backpack on, and then in another, he does not have it on. Did he forget something? Did he come back without the backpack, make multiple trips? Like, what's your analysis? What's your explanation of what we're seeing?
So you have to realize he's not carrying a backpack just because he felt like carrying a backpack. That backpack is part of his equipment. That's part of his gear. And inside that backpack, most likely, is a restraint kit and burglar tools to get inside the home and to restrain his victim. If he's carrying you obviously see him coming to the front door with the backpack on, carrying his tools to commit the crime to the residence. If he's taking that backpack off, that tells me he has probably put it on the ground, opened it up, and has started to remove the tools that he's going to use to breach that door and get inside the house.
Final quick question here. Should they increase the reward amount from $50,000? Do you think that would break open this case? Or, they're doing what they can with the information they have, or an increased reward, $250,000, $1 million won't lead to any quicker resolution than we're seeing?
That's kind of a fine line. In my experience, the reward is absolutely a good motivator. When you are in the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 range, a lot of times that's not going to be sufficient to get someone to turn on their friend or their family member. But when you get into the $50,000 range and up, that is definitely something that makes people consider, turning in their loved one, their best friend, their coworker. There's an old saying, there's no honor among thieves. And once you hit that magic number, it definitely reduces that.
Yeah, and there's also an old phrase, everybody's got a price. J.J. Arms III,
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate really important insight this morning.
Pleasure.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.